We now come to private and local orders of the day. Call on private and local order of the day number 1.
Arts Centre of Christchurch Trust Bill, second reading.
Mr Speaker, I move that the Arts Centre...
Well, maybe you go, Mr Speaker, and I say the Honourable Nikki Wagner, okay, and then you go.
Let's do that.
Okay, try again. The Honourable Nikki Wagner.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I move that the Arts Centre of the Christchurch Trust Bill be now read a second time. Mr Speaker, as the mover of the Arts Centre of Christchurch Trust Bill, I welcome the second reading. The Arts Centre holds a really special place in the life of Christchurch people. Everyone has a memory of spending time there, whether it's long ago when they were a student, whether it's more recently at the Court Theatre or the Southern Ballet, whether they've been a residential or a commercial tenant, perhaps a regular shopper, a cafe consumer, a moviegoer or a bar hopper. Pre-earthquake, the Arts Centre of Christchurch was vibrant, it was welcoming, it was the place to meet, the place to work and the place to play. It was the creative and cultural heartbeat of our city. Now, the Arts Centre of Christchurch Trust Bill is an important element in the ongoing protection and preservation of the Arts Centre for the future. Its purpose is to modernise the governance arrangements of the Trust and to set out the charitable objects of the Trust and legislation. It will provide greater certainty around the original intention of the Trust deed and formally recognise the heritage and cultural significance of the Arts Centre. The Arts Centre is a magnificent complex. It consists of 24 heritage buildings. The first date back to 1876 and go right through to 1923. And during the earthquakes, all but one of them was very badly damaged. And that's resulted in a fantastic but huge restoration project that will probably take about 7 years and will cost near on $300 million. It's a program that's been recognised as the biggest and the most high-tech in the world. And it's going really well. And I'd like to pay tribute to Andre Lovett, the CEO of the Arts Centre, and everyone that's working on the site for the fact that they are hoping to be able to deliver it on budget and years earlier. It was really good that the Local Government and Environment Select Committee could visit the site and see the work so that they could understand the importance of this bill. But the bill is only part of the change that's happening at the Arts Centre. At the same time, significant planning is underway to let the Arts Centre achieve a vision for the future of the whole complex. And that vision, of course, is informed by the objects of the Trust and recognises the need for the Arts Centre to be financially sustainable in the future. The new governance structure proposed by the Arts Centre Trust Board follows a comprehensive review and consultation process. Before they drafted the bill, they carried on conversations with local stakeholders, and they also worked with Crown Law and the Ministry of Culture and Heritage over a few years. The modernisation of the governance arrangements will bring the Trust in line with currently accepted best practice. It's vitally important that the Trust Board has the skills and maintains a strong set of skills during the restoration phase over the next few years, but also enduring governance structure is in place for the repopulation phase and in the future. Some helpful amendments were recommended by the Select Committee to improve the workability of the provisions. It recommended removing the Minister of Arts, Culture and Heritage from the lists of parties to be notified in the event of a vacancy on the Trust Board in order to eliminate any feeling of misperception of the Minister's influence on the Trust Board's governance. The Trust Board also considered it important to give certainty to the community that the objects of the Trust would no longer be subject to ad hoc amendments, and that's recognised in the bill. The reference to stone buildings is entirely appropriate, as it reflects the wording of the original trust deed and respects the intentions of the original trust. And it was noted by the Select Committee by majority that they supports the view of the Trust Board and do not recommend deleting the reference to stone in the preamble or the body of the bill. An amendment to the definition of Arts Centre is instead proposed to clarify the meaning of that term. The Select Committee also proposed an amendment to require the Trust Board to make the conservation plan of the Arts Centre available at annual meetings. This is absolutely supported by the Trust Board, and it's consistent with their intended future strategic direction of open and transparent governance of the Arts Centre, and I'm advised that the existing site conservation plan was produced back in 1992, so it's been around for a while and it's due for updating, and the Trust has committed to updating that plan for the site following the completion of the restoration project. The bill, as originally proposed, provided for the site to be vested in the Crown on an interim basis should the trust ever be wound up. But this is recommended to be amended for consistency with other charitable trusts. So now the provisions of the Charitable Trust Act 1957 will apply. This is an improvement, I think, to the current trust deed arrangement and is fully supported by the Trust Board. The bill will enable the Trust Board to continue to be able to recover from the impact of the earthquakes. It is an appropriate governance structure for the future. It will lay the foundations for an inspiring public place for the people of Christchurch, for Canterbury and for visitors to our city now and for future generations. From the damaged buildings and the rubble, there is a unique opportunity to create a new, exciting and vibrant centre which will be a source of great pride for Christchurch and I think for New Zealand as a whole. In the past, the Arts Centre was one of the city's most enjoyed tourist attractions. It was the place that all of us took our visiting friends and relatives, and I look forward to being able to do that again very soon. I'd like to thank the Local Government and Environment Select Committee for its careful scrutiny of its bill. It is a better piece of legislation because of their work. And I'd also like to thank the House for their unanimous cross-party support. I'm extremely pleased that this bill is back in the House, and I look forward to it being enacted by the end of the year.
The question is that the motion be agreed to.
Speaker.
Dr. Megan Woods.
Thank you, Mr.